Joining us now is the great owner-operator of Red Apple Media. Also, I'm the lucky one. I get to co-host Cats and Cosby every day with him on WABC Radio at 5 p.m. The great John Catsimatidis. John, I haven't had a chance to talk with you since the debate, obviously. Your reactions, John?
Well, it was a little bit shocking. After a week at Camp David, he came out very weak. And President Biden should have done a much better job. The CNN is panicking. The Democrats are panicking because there's no way, absolutely no way, can he last 4 more years. And the Democrats don't want Kamala Harris. So the Democrats are having a very serious problem. What do they do? Who do they substitute for Joe Biden? And they certainly don't want Kamala Harris to take the lead. President Trump did, on a scale of 1 to 10, he did a 9, 9.5. He did a better job than a lot of people expected him to do. I think the odds in Las Vegas are like 60-40 on President Trump right now.
I actually, and you know what, I actually believe it will also increase as this sort of sits in, because John, you used the word shocking. I also, John, was sad when I watched, because I thought, boy, this is our commander in chief. This is the president of the United States. And when you and I were talking earlier, look, I want what's best for the country. And I'm sitting there thinking, what are world leaders thinking when this guy was having trouble getting through a basic sentence? I expected him to be the angry Joe Biden that we saw at State of the Union. Because remember, he came out, he had a lot of energy. Here, it looked like he was very lethargic, and you could hear it, you could see it. It was actually painful, and it saddened me as an American, John Katz.
Look, I don't want to criticize any president of the United States, but he definitely is not capable of doing 4 more years. And I think that's the key words in the sentence. And the Democrats definitely do not want Kamala Harris. And it has nothing to do with her being black, or it has nothing to do with her being, vice president at this point. But she's not capable of taking over as commander in chief, and they know that. So the Democrats have a very serious problem at this point.
Yeah, what do you think happens? Because just like you set up, they don't want Kamala Harris. And also, you look at the timing of this, John. Remember when this all broke? I remember you and I were like, whoa, this was the earliest debate, presidential debate in American history. Here it is in June. And suddenly it was on Joe Biden's end. These were Joe Biden's terms. This was Joe Biden's time frame, CNN, and he worked it out. And then they went to Trump, and Trump, accepted it reluctantly, thinking, okay, well, I want to debate the guy. I'll do whatever it is. But given the fact that this was done so early and it's before the Democratic convention, I firmly believe that there was pressure, obviously, within the party on Joe Biden saying, you better hit it out of the park, and let's see what you got, because they're concerned, I think, even before this moment. But after tonight, it's got to be panic. What do you think now happens? You've been involved in just so many huge high-level discussions, John Catsimatidis. What do you think is sort of happening now behind closed doors?
I think the knives were out at CNN. And they wanted, they were hoping that he'd perform, but he did not perform to expectations. And the knives are out in the Democratic Party to do something about it. As of right now, President Trump would probably not accept a second debate against Joe Biden, because why should he? I mean, what are they going to do? Pump him up with extra drugs? I mean, it's a serious problem. And if President Trump picks the right vice president, and the way I advised him at that dinner afterwards was pick your whole cabinet and show your team leading the charge. Not just you, not just your vice president, but your whole cabinet. And I think that way he could have a great winning team. President Biden doesn't have a clue on how to solve the world's problems. And the way we talked about in the 5 o'clock show, the Katz and Cosby show, is that the free world is only going to stay free if you have a strong United States leader. The rest of the free world is depending on the United States of America to keep the free world free. And right now, the alliance of Russia with North Korea, the alliance with Russia with Vietnam, the alliance with Russia with China and Iran and Venezuela and Cuba and the evil empire, I would call it. Let me tell you something. They're going to keep going on. There's reports today, I just saw it a little while ago, that Iran is moving into Somalia. I mean, he doesn't have the courage to go after Iran. He never had the courage to go in and take care of the Houthis and open up the Suez Canal, open up the Red Sea. And right now, Iran has us prisoners. They're using the excess money America gave them. Because President Biden allowed Iran to go from 400,000 barrels a day to 4 million barrels a day at $100 a barrel, at $80, $90 a barrel.
Wow.
And we made them zillionaires. And what happened? They used the excess money they had from the money that America gave them. And hired the Houthis, hired the Hezbollah, hired the Hamas to create turmoil in the world. I am afraid of Joe Biden continuing. And it's a very serious problem, not just the United States of America. It's a very serious problem for the free world. And that's what I'm concerned about. I'm concerned about the free world and keeping it free, because not for me, for our kids and grandkids going forward. We're never going to make 2076 the 300th year of the United States of America if Americans don't make the right decision right now and keep the free world free.
Yeah, absolutely. Well said, John. And, John, earlier we were talking about how this election, before this debate, we were talking about how pivotal this election is, because we're seeing the world going in such a different direction already in a few short years. And all the problems you just talked about with the Houthis taking advantage of America, the money going to Iran, so many of these bad actors that are banding in together. And that was before the debate. If I'm a world leader, sadly, who wishes the America harm, and they see tonight and they see our commander in chief, what message does that send when they see President Biden's performance? It is concerning.
Well, it is very, very concerning. The European NATO and all the free world, Japan and New Zealand and Australia, they need a strong leader in the United States of America. They're all depending on us to keep them free. And President Biden, he's getting too old, but it's not getting old. I've seen 94-year-olds be sharp. I've seen, 89-year-olds being sharp.
John, I was just with a 107 and a year-old guy in Normandy who was sharp as a tack.
Well, the Democratic Party needs to look at itself very carefully and say, can he last 4 more years? And the answer is probably 90% of the Democratic Party will say Joe Biden is not going to be able to last 4 more years. And the one thing that we all say, the President Biden, when you talk about the black community, the poor blacks, the poor Hispanics, the poor Asians, that the fact is President Biden doubled the price of oil. He increased the price of food by 30 to 40%. The interest rates, because of the price of oil, because of the price of food, Interest rates went up to 7% for a 30-year mortgage. Guess what?
Wow.
That doesn't work for the free world. That doesn't work for the poor. It made the poor Americans poorer. It made the price of food made the poor and middle class poorer. And he's not doing anything about it. If he went in there with our Air Force, if I was Commander in Chief, if I went in with our Air Force and our Navy, and we would destroy the Houthis in 3 days. 3 days. And you open up the Suez Canal, you open up the Red Sea, and guess what? Oil will be flowing, and the fact is that he's not going to do it. And I don't know why, as Commander-in-Chief, he's not doing it.
Yeah, it is astounding.
It's very sad.
For the ones who know safety isn't a catchphrase, it's a culture. And the ones who help make sure everyone makes it home safe. For the safety-minded who watch everyone's backs, Grainger offers supplies and solutions for every industry, as well as safety assessments and training to keep your facilities safe and your people safer. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
So sad. And John, I wish you were president, because I think it would take you less than 3 days. I think it would take you a day and a half. I would give it, Max, with your great, incredible skill and insight. John, thank you so much. We love having you here on the show. I look forward to talk with you tomorrow, of course, on our great show, Cats and Cosby, 5:00 on WABC Radio. And boy, our country's in trouble after what we saw tonight, and Democrats are definitely in panic mode. Really concerning, I think, for the whole world and the whole country when you see what we all saw. And John, I so appreciate your great insights always.
Well, I look forward to it tomorrow at 5:00, and it's about keeping the United States free. The migration crisis is a real crisis. The fentanyl coming through the Mexican borders because the Chinese gangs are feeding the Mexicans and killing 100,000 Americans a year. That's like 300 people a day. It's like a 737 going down every day for 300 days straight. I mean, they have no control over the borders. They have no control of the migrant situation. And now, Rita, they want to fly in 150,000 Palestinians. Who is going to select who are Palestinians that mean well, and who's going to select Palestinians that are Hamas?
Yeah, you're right. You're right. They can't trust that it's going to be vetted carefully, as they have not had a very good track record. Needless to say, it's been abysmal. John, we got a hard break, but I just want to say thank you. We love you. And I love how much you love this country. Thank you, John. And I can't wait to talk with you tomorrow more about this. It's going to be a great show on Cats and Cosby tomorrow.
God bless America. And we need God's help right now, because the American people have to go the right direction and put somebody in there that's going to keep the free world free.
Yeah, 100%. John, thank you. So well said. The great John Catsimatidis, host there on Cats and Cosby, along with me. I'm the lucky one to be with John. John, thank you so much.